Today, we are going to face all the bosses of Cataclysm, the mob with the most epic enemies in all of Minecraft, bringing us a incredibly high difficulty. That will leave the Wither, the Dragon, and the Warden in diapers, because these will be found in a totally different level. So join me on this new adventure, where we will have one of the most complicated challenges I have ever had. And of course, you can also take this video as a guide to defeat each boss, since we will be finishing them off with basic armament. But we will also have very important rules to be able to do the experience a little more complicated. And it is that first, we will not be able to use enchanted apples or totems of immortality. That would take away some of the fun. And of course, we will not be able to use the weapons of other bosses without having defeated them before. So, yeah, basically we're going to have a great time. Or well, at least you. Because I'm going to have to suffer for a few hours. So that this suffering is worth it. I'm going to ask you, please, leave your like and subscribe, since that will be helping me a lot to continue uploading content like this every week. And if you don't believe me, you can take a look at the channel. I'm sure you might like something there. And with nothing else to say now, yes, let's go for the video. The first boss we will encounter, it's the Netherite monstrosity. In this case, as I mentioned, we are going to use the most basic weapons possible in order to finish it off. In this case, I would say it is possible to defeat him with diamond armor, obviously full delighted ender, pearls to be able to move freely around the field, and bow and arrows, since this boss will not be completely invulnerable to projectiles. So, with that being said, and having all our tools, let's go for the first fight. And as you can see, it's a pretty simple fight. Yes, indeed, has his little tricks to be able to finish it off. First of all, don't let him attack you, because if he manages to hit you, you'll be getting the Bone Breaker effect, making you more fragile to blows, and also slower. Although we can use this to our advantage, since as you saw, it can get stuck in some places. So I would say with the bow, you can easily defeat him. Just keep it away from the lava, since it will be able to regenerate with this. The next boss we must defeat. It is located in the ancient pyramid, and curiously, will be accompanied. So, to defeat them, we can use the same weapons, obviously with some improvements, such as the monstrous helmet, like the Infernal Forge. Curiously, these two mini bosses, they won't be as dangerous separately, but having to fight in such a closed space, between these two, they can really do a lot of harm to us. But well, once we defeat them, they will be leaving us a very interesting tool. And of course, it won't be of much use to defeat the real boss, which will be the Bony Retalo breastplate. And unlike a normal bit, will be giving us 11 points of protection. Excellent for our next match. The truth is that it was a very complicated battle, since this gentleman has some pretty annoying skills, such as reversing your controls with their hits, or even paralyze you completely. thus allowing you. That can finish you off in just a few attacks. And it doesn't even allow you to move or protect yourself. Although this time, yes, we did give some more uses to the ender pearls, being, at least for me, the key to preventing the boss from cornering us. Now we are in the ancient factory, an abandoned factory, where we will find the body of the herald, also known as Witherwick. In this case, we carry the same weapons as with the previous boss. Although in this case, yes, I would recommend you bring some speed potions. And don't forget the ender pearls, since at least for me, they will be a key resource for all bosses. As you can see, this is an extremely fast boss. But without a doubt, one of his main attacks that you will have to taking care of you will be the lightning bolt of his chest. Because if it hits you full force, it can finish you off. And the truth is that he did it with me. I was able to finish this in 2 attempts. And curiously, this boss is not so powerful. But it can be a bit misleading, since it might seem that it doesn't have much life or damage, but if suddenly it releases said ray, can kill you in a matter of seconds. So yeah, be pretty careful with this one too. Above all, you can take advantage of the pillars to keep it paralyzed, making it remain vulnerable for a few seconds. Now, heading to the frozen prison, we will meet the maledictus. In this case, we can carry the same weapons, although I would recommend you bring some netherite, in addition to being able to change our shield for this one, which will be a little more resistant, which, by the way, we can find in the same structure. In my opinion, the Cursed One, it's one of the funniest bosses in this mod, since it will have a fairly complete pattern of attacks. But if I had to give you some advice at the time of defeating it, is that you pay enough attention to it. Because when you least expect it, will be doing his sword summoning attack, being possibly one of the most devastating attacks in the entire mod. That can even kill you with a single attack. The good news is that from now on, we will be able to use the complete set of the maledictus. That, at least for me, is the best armor in the entire game. And now, traveling towards the end, we will meet the ancient citadel, home of the mighty Elder Guardian. In this case, we will be carrying the new maledictus set, who will have very good skills, in addition to having the ability to revive, as if we had a totem of immortality. And of course, also the spear of maledictus, which will give us a little more reach. And of course, it will have a total of 16 damage. So, with that said, let's go for the boss. The Elder Guardian may be for many one of the most powerful bosses in the entire mod, because it will have a huge amount of damage and life, in addition to very annoying skills, such as stun or teleport like an Enderman. Hence, I've changed weapons to one that does much more damage, is the key to defeat this boss. And for those who think that brutal force is everything, let me tell you that is not the case with this boss. Well, now we are in the Sunken City, home of the mighty leviathan. In this case, we will need some special tools, such as crab meat, which will be a rare animal that we can find in leafy caves. We must bless this meat on this altar, which will be making us immune to the negative effects of leviathan. And as for armament, we will also need something a little more special. Obviously, apnea potions, and if you can also. In this case, the bow will not be of any use to us. Also, the ender pearls. And so here, I would recommend using the types of trident. One of aquatic propulsion to move faster, and also one with loyalty. In this way, we will make it a little more difficult for Leviathan to attack us. As you can see, it's not a very easy fight, let's say, because if we didn't have the right tools, this would have been much more difficult for us. And as I mentioned, the tridents were the most important thing in that fight, since they allowed us to move much faster and also attack from afar, especially at the time when Leviathan began to throw his powerful rays of darkness. And although at first, this is not a very powerful enemy, at the time of reviving, this one will have increased abilities. A very important detail to take into account. And now finally, passing to the Nether again. We will meet at the Burning Arena, home of the last boss and the most powerful of all. On this occasion, we will be using the following artifacts. In the armor, we will no longer have any changes, since we have the best possible. What will really be important for this fight? It will be having a good shield, and you will see this below, as well as potions of strength 2 and speed 2. You can see this in more detail below. As you can see, the ignis is no joke at all. And it is possibly one of the most difficult bosses and powerful of all Minecraft. Not to mention, it took me more than 5 attempts to defeat him. And it is that this gentleman, he doesn't care at all. Tools that do a lot of damage. Well, we will only be able to hit him at very key moments. When this one does not have the shield on, or after hitting. Very important thing, since at the moment of hitting us with the sword, this will be healing life. Hence the importance of the shield. Counting on 3 different phases. The first will be the normal phase. In the second one, he will have more powerful and frenetic attacks, while the third will be the weakest of all. But equally the one that has more damage when losing the shield. Being able to take advantage of this weakness to attack him at long range. But what did you think of this video? Which of these new bosses was your favorite? You can give me your own top bosses, most powerful of this mod. Or even 2, recommend me some boss mod that we can try. On some future occasion, I will be reading in the comments. Remember that the French do not milk ocelots. And see you in the next video, bye.